Something I often see from people at that 50K mark that want to go to that consistent 100K cash point is they're really smart and they are great mentors and they deeply care about their work. But I've seen this phenomenon happen with a bunch of people in the online space. I've coached my clients through it and helped them break through. I've seen other people go through this. When I was at that level back in 2022, I saw this. And it's this ability to step into another level of leadership. Because what happens is you grow the business to, let's say, 50K cash months and you're doing great, right? Like you're making great money. 50K cash months. I know that when I started making $50,000 cash months, like that was a lot. I was like, wow, this is a big jump. This is a big leap in income. It changed my life. I was able to do so much more. And I felt bigger about myself, right? You feel like a bigger leader, but to get to the 100K cash month mark, it's a different vibe. It's double that. And what a lot of people do is they stop their growth because they fear more work or they fear, worse clients or that they're not going to like whatever it is that they've built. And it might even be that you don't even realize that you're doing it because you keep yourself really small. It's like it's safe to stay where you are. You feel like it's cool to stay there. But it's actually not safe to stay where you are. It is safer to fly because you are someone that's meant to hold a lot more than what you're currently holding right now. And when you get to 100K cash months, you're not going to have to do more work in a way of like you are going to be more stressed or you're going to have more problems. The reason why you won't is because you're going to become the one that can hold it. At 300K cash months, I work less than when I was doing 50K cash months. That needs to be a post, okay? And I'm taking that note. I need to make this into a post. At 300K cash months, I work less than I did at 50K cash months. 50K cash months, at that time, I was running a lot of micro programs. So I had a lot of calls. I had my regular group programs. Oh, and a lot of clients had a lot of access to me then. That I kept in my programs a lot of private work inside of my masterminds, in all of the masterminds. And so I took that out pretty much right after I started making 50K months because I realized this is not necessary for anyone's growth and expansion. And that actually was more work than where I currently am at now in my business. It requires me to do less because I've built something. So what was my point here? When you build a movement, when you build a high-end movement, people will buy more from you that are your one-to-many offers, higher ticket, and guess what? More of them are going to be your dream customers, your dream buyers. And business isn't easy, right? Like business is hard work. It requires a certain amount of resiliency and work ethic. And that's unfortunately why a lot of business owners, like not a lot of business owners are at the top. That's just true. Like there's a huge gap. There's like a lot of people at the bottom, like trying to go. And then I would actually say there's a good amount of people. Like I know a lot of successful entrepreneurs, but maybe that's just because of the spaces that I'm in right now. It's actually a very cool reflection. A lot of my colleagues are all very successful entrepreneurs, but that's also because I choose to be in those rooms. But the point of this is that business is difficult. It's hard and it's supposed to be. Just like if you ever see somebody who's really fit, they look good. It's like, because you know what they had to do to get through that. They had to eat well. They had to say no to certain foods. They had to move their body more. They had to take care of themselves, get good night's sleep. Like we respect people who respect themselves. And it's the same thing in business. And that's why the bigger you grow in business, the more authority you have and the more respect, because people know what it takes, even if you don't know, right? Even if you're at the beginning of your business and you're like, I don't know exactly what it took that person to get there, but you know that it's admirable. When you see my content, you're like, whoa, she went from making nothing per month to multiple millions now, 300K cash a month. Like, that's impressive. But it's impressive because you see the growth. And in order to get that growth, you got to go through the challenges that are going to inevitably come up. So holding more money doesn't mean more work, but it does mean that you have to become a bigger version of yourself. It does mean that you have to become stronger. It does mean that you're going to go through some challenges, but look, you're going to go through challenges whether you're playing really small or you're playing really big. If you play really small, guess what those challenges are? It's like, actually, I would say they're probably harder. It's like a little annoying things, little problems. When you're playing really small and you're not really going for it, it's like you're probably not working with the people that you really want to be working with because you're playing small. You're probably not marketing the way you want to be marketing because you're playing small. And so you're still going to have challenges. You're going to run into client issues. You're going to run into, I think this is the most important, you don't feel fulfilled in your business, because that is everything. Energy is everything. The more energized you are, the more money you make. That's just a fact. High energy equals wealth, no matter what industry you're in. I'm in a mastermind. Russell runs this mastermind. Every single person in there that is making a lot of money, you know what? They have high energy. I'm talking people making 100 million in a year. They have high energy. People of all different backgrounds, all different races, all different ages, all over the world. High energy in all different types of industries. They're not coaches. They're not service providers. It's a fact. And energy is everything. And so if you're working at the low end of your business, if you're working like you're trying to fight for the bronze, as Benjamin Hardy talks about in 10X is easier than 2X, you're still going to have challenges. So you might as well go for the gold. Like, life is still going to bring you challenges, and you have to be able to face them and be someone that gets stronger. It's like choose your hard. Both are hard, but you can decide if you want the bronze or the gold. I want the gold. I have the gold, and I'm going to keep getting more in all areas of life: health, wealth, relationships, everything. So the thing is, for the people that are at that 50K month mark, it's actually more dangerous to be there. Hanging out the 50K month mark for too long is not a fun place to be, because I've seen people go down. They go like to 20K and then 15K. And it's like, you're right there. You were right there. Go, baby, go. I'm trying to think of, like, you know, when I was going from 50K to 100K, I mean, this episode is gold, by the way. And if you're ready for some high-level mentorship, join our headquarters, join one of our masterminds inside of Freedom Queen. You want to build a movement, this is the place for you. But when I was going from 50K to 100K cash month mark, another thing is I had to like turn on the joy inside. I had to turn on the fun around business. Like, I remember that season in my business. It was so much fun. And that's how I feel right now with building Freedom Queen to 500K cash months, $1 million cash months. It's so fun. I'm putting on the conference of the century. Like, we're having the time of our lives. It's fun. And that's how it was going to 50K to 100K. I didn't force it. It was like, I'm going to have the time of my life. And as a result of that, I started blowing up. I had a first $98,000 cash month, $100,000 cash month, and so on. And so it's like, where are you getting angry or boring or resentful? As a common pattern I see with people at that mark in their business is they lose the fun. They lose the pizzazz. They lose like the joy, the reason they started the business in the first place. And the reason I bring this up with where I'm at right now, because truthfully, with going to 500K cash months now, hosting a 400 person conference, which if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, make sure you sign up. We have less than 3 weeks, actually almost 2 weeks away from the event of the year. And I'm putting on a show. Like, this is a $300,000, $400,000 event to put on. This is a very, very big show, event, concert, conference, and it's never going to happen again like this. It's the first ever Freedom Queen Live. It's the first of many. It's the first of our events. Like, there will be people going to year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and they're like, I remember the first one. That was so crazy. And it's extraordinary. So I love it. I love it because it's new. I've never done a conference before. And that's what I say for, when you started your business, everything was probably so new to you, right? It was brand new. You didn't know what you were doing. It was out of the box. It made you uncomfortable. You had to put yourself out there. And maybe you need to tap into that right now, going from 50K to 100K cash months. It's like, are you really having the time of your life? Are you putting yourself out there? Are you living in joy every day? Are you someone? It's a really important question. Are you someone that people want to be around? Are you magnetic? Are you a true leader? These are really, really important questions to ask yourself as you step into this next level, going from 50K to 100K cash months. As a reminder, this week inside of the podcast, whenever you share an episode, can be any episode on the entire podcast, to your Instagram story and tag me, you're going to be invited to an exclusive recording happening this Friday on Zoom. And on this Zoom call, you're going to be able to ask me a question. I'm going to record it live on our virtual studio. First ever podcast live recording. I've never done it before. You're going to be able to ask me a question. And the thing is that people pay for 15 minutes of my time. People pay just for a 15-minute phone call with me. And in that 15-minute phone call, I've helped people have their highest cash month ever in business. My clients are always like, I love when I get on the call with you because it means money. I'm making money. So if you want to come to that call, share one episode to your IG story, tag me so that we get alerted. And either myself or the team will send you the link to come to the live podcast recording this Friday on Zoom. And we're going to have a ball. It's going to be so much fun. I love the podcast family, this community, the Freedom Queen podcasting group. It's like, it's so cool with podcasting because I don't get to have a response from you. I don't really get to know who you are. So if you're an avid business coaching podcast, Freedom Queen podcast listener, come to the live training or the live recording happening this Friday. And to do that, just share an episode to your Instagram story right now. Okay, I'll see you on Friday.